everyone, this is Vince from Gamebass, and I'll be your game commentator today. We're going to be playing Minecraft, and I'm going to be showing you the basics of survival mode, because I know how difficult it can be to kind of understand how to get yourself situated, so I'm going to show you how to quickly get all the things you need to just get a basic base set up for yourself, so that you're in a position to kind of go out and enjoy the more fun parts of the game. So yeah, I'm going to press A, we're going to create new world, and there's different options that you can get in there and change, but, you know, we're not going to change any of that. I'm not even going to bother going through any of it. We're just going to, you know, name our world here, and, you know, you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to be silly, and I'm going to call my name here today Worldland. And we're going to go right ahead and jump right into Worldland. You can call yours whatever you want, and we're going to scroll on over to Create, and we're going to jump right into this. Minecraft doesn't really have a plot. It's really just what the mode is called survival. The whole point is to survive, and then, you know, accumulate as many rare materials as possible as you go throughout the game, and do whatever else you really want. But the key thing is to get a base created so that you can be protected from the monsters that spawn at nighttime that will all try to come and kill you. So we are kind of racing against the clock here. We need to get a handful of things pretty quickly, but first and foremost, the game will start you out with a empty locator map. This will show you exactly where you are on the map. You know, you spawn with this. You use ZL to use it and start, you know, locating the area. And if I press X, I'll pull up my inventory, and I can actually take this and I can equip it to the shield, which is actually my left hand, and I can, you know, have that out while I still have my right hand free. So the three items that we need, materials that we need, are stone, wood, and coal. So the first thing we want to try to do is find ourselves a tree of some sort so we can get ourselves some wood. Now, it does not look like there's a whole lot of trees in this area, so you know, we'll have to adapt if necessary. You know, one thing we really need as well is coal, which is in caves typically. So we're going to check around in here, see if we can find any coal. See, there's some in the ceiling. I don't have the right tools for it right now, so let's find ourselves some wood like there is down there, and now we know where we can get ourselves some wood and some coal. And there's stone obviously all over the place here too. So let's run over to these trees and break them down and take the wood, because wood just doesn't seem to be very abundant in this area. You know, the game randomly generates everything, so you know, it's never going to be the same world twice when you know, spawn your world. So you just kind of got to deal with whatever you're dealt, and you know, you got to just take it from there. So we're just going to grab all this wood from these two trees here, and then quickly go up and get our coal that we found in one of those caves up there. So real quick, you know, this can take a little bit of time, so we're actually going to press X again to get our inventory open. And we're going to go over and we're going to see that we're actually able to craft some things. And we're going to press A to craft a bunch of wood planks, because we can turn the logs that we had from 1 piece into 4, and then we are also going to craft a crafting table. And we're going to use that to make ourselves some sticks as well from the planks that we have, and then we're going to make ourselves a wood axe and a wood pickaxe, and we're going to use the wood axe to chop down the rest of the wood from this tree, because it's faster than, you know, using our fist. And then we're going to use the pickaxe to go get that coal and to dig out some stone. So that's really the goal here right now. So I'm going to actually use my crafting table to get up a little bit higher to get the rest of this wood. And you know, this is actually a good amount. So I'm going to craft the rest of this wood into planks, because that's really what we need. And I'm actually going to break up this crafting table. Since it's wood, it breaks up easily with an axe. So we're going to kill this pig here and take the meat, because we are going to need food. As you see down on the screen, There is the hearts to the left and what looks like some chicken legs of some sort to the right. That is our food meter, and our health to the right, and our health meter to the left. As you can see, the health meters or food meters are already starting to go down a little bit from us running and jumping up the mountain here. You have to stay well fed as you play this game because you can actually starve and start losing health. So yeah, here's that cave that we found before, and there's all that coal that we saw. So we're gonna break all this coal up, and we're gonna take it with us because this is a very, very important resource that we are going to need a lot of. Coal is something that you'll find relatively abundantly, but it's definitely worth, taking when you do see it, because it's stuff that you're just gonna need a lot of as you play this game. And you'll see as time goes on. One of the things that you can make with coal is torches, and that is probably one of the most useful items in the entire game, surprisingly. Torches will allow you to not only light up a place, but it actually prevents monsters from spawning in a place. So if you put torches all inside of a cave and then close it off, you will be completely protected from monsters, which is really the goal of survival, is to be able to survive the night from these monsters. So looks like I got all the coal. Nope, one last piece up in the ceiling here. So I got all the coal, and I actually kind of like this building. So I like this cave, but I'm gonna turn it into my base. I have to close off some of the areas a little bit, so I'm gonna break up some of this stone here as well, so I can do that and reallocate it over in some of these other areas of the room, and I'm gonna just close it off. And eventually this will become my base. I have to finish, obviously, putting everything that I want down. One thing I'm going to want to do is actually put my crafting table in the floor, because it clears up space and you can still walk around on it, and I'm going to need to use my crafting table here. And I'm going to make a bunch of torches with all that coal that we just got, and I'm going to put them up on the wall here so that nothing will now be able to spawn in this area. And this is now our safe base. So I'm actually not going to spend too much time in here just yet. I am going to finish at least closing off the wall so that I have a safe area when nighttime comes. But I need to be quick about getting my bed made. So I'm actually going to use some of these wood planks to finish sealing off this area. Even though it doesn't look as nice as I would want it to, that's actually not that important right now. What's important is surviving. So I'm going to put doors up too, so that this is a completely closed off area. And I'm going to put torches out here so that nothing spawns immediately outside. And I'm going to put some torches up on the above the entrance, so that when I'm coming back in, I see them and I know, okay, that's where my base is. And I'm going to do the same on this side. So really, right now, what we need to find is wool. We've got everything else we need. We've got a base now made. The only thing that we need is wool, because we need to be able to make a bed so that we can set a respawn point inside of our base, and so that we can actually turn it from nighttime to daytime when the time comes. Obviously, so we can avoid the monsters that will be trying to kill us at night. So I'm going to run back into my base real quick, because I forgot to make a sword. And that is something I am definitely going to need. And I don't have enough stone, so I'm actually going to break up a little bit more of this stone, even though we're racing against time, so we got to be quick here. Make a stone sword so we can get out there to try and find ourselves some sheep, so that we can get ourselves some wool before nighttime. So that's really the goal here now, is to look for sheep in the immediate area. There will tend to be animals just about everywhere. You just gotta, you know, look around for them. And luckily for us, there's one sheep right up there. We just gotta get over there. So I'm gonna try to time this jump, see if I can make it, and I can't. And that's sometimes you take a risk and it doesn't pay off. So be careful sometimes, because as you saw, I took a little bit of fall damage from that, and I was not able to make that jump. But there's an easy way around, which I should have just taken in the first place. So here we go. I press ZR to use the items in hand, and I use the L and R button to cycle through everything that I have in my inventory. And when I press X, I can take things out of my pocket and put them in for the you know, usable inventory. So we're going to keep looking around for more sheep in the immediate area. We don't want to get too far away from our home base. You know, even though it's a cow instead, we're actually going to take them because we need the meat. And the leather is actually a very useful item down the road. So looks like the sun and the moon are switching positions here. So let's very quickly get back to our home base. You know, we won't be able to sleep immediately, and we'll just have to stay awake through the night until tomorrow, and that's when we'll be able to go out and get the wool that we need. But at the very least, we have a safe place protected from monsters, and that's really what we needed more than anything. So in the meantime, you know, I picked up this apple when I was cutting down some trees. I'm going to eat that, and you know, I still don't have full food yet, so I'm actually going to break up some of this stone here and kind of level out the inside of my base a little bit. But I also need the stone for some other items that we need to make that are critical pieces of the base, and to make some more stone tools, because they're a little bit stronger. So I'm actually going to stop using this wood one, because you know, it's not very good, not very strong, and I am going to make myself a stone pickaxe. I'm going to make a stone axe, and I'm going to make a stone shovel as well. And you know, it's personal preference. I like to keep all of my tools up in the front part of my inventory, and only really equip things that I'm going to be using, such as these torches. I may use some dirt to, you know, give myself something to stand on, and when I have cooked food, I will keep the cooked food available as well. So, you know, you may be wondering, cooked food? What do you mean cooked food? So, that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you. We're going to break a hole in the wall, and we are going to make ourselves a furnace over here in, you know, the bed and other items tab, and we're going to make ourselves a furnace. And the furnace is in our inventory, and we're going to put it right there. And we're going to bust out the rest of the wall next to it, and now we're going to be able to kind of go in here, and we're going to be able to put some raw meat into the top part of the furnace, and we will be able to put some coal into the bottom part of the furnace, and that will start cooking the food for us, so we can, you know, have some cooked meat to take with us, which is great. Cooked food gives you significantly more health than, you know, some other items like watermelon or some of the other, you know, fruits and vegetables you may find around. Like the apple that I just ate only gave me 2 pieces of health back, as opposed to, you know, maybe 4 or 5 that a piece of cooked meat will give. So yeah, we gotta wait now for the sun to come back up before we want to go back outside. It's really just not safe to be out there. You know, there's a slew of different types of monsters that will try to kill you immediately. Spiders, zombies, skeletons. There are also, you know, witches and endermen and others, you know, more rarer to come by, but a lot more dangerous to deal with type of monsters. So we don't even want to risk running into one of those out there without having any armor or any you know, any real quality weapons. We're only really working with stone here right now. So yeah, in the meantime, with some of the wood that we have left, I'm actually going to make a chest, and we're going to put that down over here in this corner. You know, you can lay your house out however you want. Put some more torches up, just because even though it's safe, it's just, I like to have better lighting inside. I just think it looks better. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put things like, you know, all of these that I'm not really using away everything. You know, when you have your inventory open, you can press the X button to automatically put something away into storage. So I'm going to put my wood tools in there too, because I just don't really have a use for them. And I actually am going to take this, you know, baby tree back, because I'm going to plant it outside later on. I'm going to take this cooked meat, and I'm going to keep cycling through and cooking all this meat that we've picked up, and having that ready to go. And you know, we're just about ready for, you know, a full-on adventure. All we really need now is to get ourselves a bed, and we'll be set with a fully functioning base here. And I'm going to take a little risky run here outside, just so I can show you how dangerous it can really get, because very quickly I'll be attacked by something. You know, there's already a couple zombies over, no, just one zombie over there. But you never know what might be lying in wait for you right outside your door. You know, it's very possible that it looks clear when you come outside, and then suddenly you're under attack. And, you know, luckily right now we're not really getting attacked by anything. So I'm actually going to take this opportunity to put some torches down here, so that I can make the area right outside of my base safe as well, so that monsters won't spawn here. They'll still be able to walk in here, but they won't spawn right outside my door anymore. And that'll you know, keep things a lot safer for me in the long run. You know, so, you know, luckily for us, nothing came and got it. Oh, there we go. Finally, as I'm saying something, you know, here's a zombie coming up on us, so we'll just quickly, you know, use our sword to fight him off. And luckily, there's nothing else too serious trying to attack us. You know, I see a creeper up in the distance there. You know, hopefully he'll stay over there. But, you know, we'll pop back into our base here, and I'm actually going to kind of pull my torches out and do the same thing on this side. Make it a little bit safer for us, so that, you know, we're not getting attacked right when we, you know, step outside of the base. Yeah, we're lucking out that there's not too many enemies in this area. You know, it may be different in other cases. I've had plenty of times where right in the area outside of my initial base, there's a witch or something like that trying to kill me. And, you know, you definitely don't want to deal with that. So we already see, oh, luckily for us, there's a sheep right there. So we're going to risk it, because that's what we need. And I'm going to go kill this sheep real quick so we can get some more of this wool. You know, keeping an eye on the monsters in the area so we don't get attacked. And then pop back in, so that we are, you know, staying safe. We don't want to run too far away from this safe area that we've created, because, you know, if you get cornered or singled out, you know, things can go bad pretty quickly. That hasn't been the case here for us today. So one other thing you may see happening is that as I kill some of these monsters, you know, a little green will, those little green dots are dropping. That's actually experience points. So I've been leveling up a couple times here. And, you know, the levels come into play later on in the game, as you will be able to enchant some of your weapons and tools and things like that. But, you know, I'm not going to get too into that right now. It looks like the sun's starting to come up, so I'm going to, you know, stay outside here, you know, fight off some of these monsters a little bit. It doesn't seem like we're getting attacked by too many. And that we'll be able to start looking for our third sheep here. Oh, gotta be careful, gotta be careful. See? That's why you always gotta keep your head on a swivel. When the sun's still coming up, you never know what might still be there trying to attack you. Alright, so while we wait for the sun to fully come up, I'm gonna plant this tree here, and hopefully it'll eventually grow so I can have some more wood later on. And, yeah, it looks like it's daytime just about, so we're going to start heading back out looking for our last sheep so we can make our bed. And that will be the last thing we need for our base. So, off we go. As I start to go this way, I realize, you know, I'm walking off the map, so maybe I should turn around and go a different way. Oh, never mind. Look at that. Plenty of sheep for us. Sometimes you find everything you need right there. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. We found ourselves multiple sheep, so we're gonna go ahead and get all of this wool so that we can use it for, you know, a additional things that we may need. Alright, I think that's plenty. So we're going to head back to our base. As you can see, my food meter has really gone down, so I'm going to take some of this cooked meat that I have and replenish that. Look at how, you know, I got a lot back from one. If I had a piece of fruit, maybe I could have saved that piece of meat, but, you know, if you're always, you know, staying on top of just killing animals as you're running around, you'll be able to kind of keep collecting and harvesting meat and always have food on you. And you know, you can also set up farm and start planting vegetables later on as well. It's something else that you'll be able to do down the road. But for right now, we have the wool that we need, and we are actually going to make 2 beds. And we are going to take one of them, and we are going to put this down in our base here. And we can put that wherever you want. I'm going to put mine right here up against this wall. And, you know, I can't sleep during the day, but now I have my respawn point set. And I can take this other bed, and I'm actually going to keep it in my inventory, because now I'll take that bed with me so that when I go out and I travel, I will be able to throw my bed down and sleep at night by digging out a small hole, and I'll be able to make it go from nighttime to daytime and keep on adventuring. Yeah, that's basically it. We got the basics here now. We've got ourselves set up with the doors. We've got you know, our little base set up with our crafting table, a furnace, a bed, and a chest. And we've got our map in our hand so that we can kind of start going around and maybe exploring the rest of this map. Maybe we want to go into some caves and dig out some raw material. Really, there's the world is yours at this point. You know, you've got yourself set up with a home base. And yeah, you're ready to go out and adventure.